Taurus, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-January 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Taurus collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for our beautiful Taurus collective in mid-January 2026, still starting off a brand new calendar year? What energies, messages, insights can we take a peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Taurus in mid-January 2026. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Okay, very peoply for some reason. So I'm not sure if that's an energy you're in or not really feeling right now. But whenever this card shows up, which is rarely, I don't get this card a lot. There's just like a lot of people. It feels very peoply, very social. So whether it's group dynamics or something different. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have like this picture here. We got this bald-headed guy, we have the lady, there's a bunch of other people, there's pictures of other people, there's even shadows of people in the background. So of course, whenever I see this, I think of people, 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 and it just feels very peoply. So I'm not sure if this is a crowd. I don't know if this is like a family thing, a work thing. It's like more than one person, that's for sure, more than two, maybe even more than three. So like it's just very, very peoply to me. Now, for some Tauruses, maybe you're in hermit mode, maybe you're not feeling too social, and this is Spirit's way of saying like, hey, Taurus, maybe you should go out and be social. For some of you, maybe you're just dealing with a lot of people day to day. Like it just feels like other people's energy is big in the focus as opposed to your own. Now, if we're not looking at a group dynamic, if we're not looking at other people, you might just be very energy sensitive or dealing with certain situations that have a lot of complexity and moving parts to it. Where it's like, all right, well, normally that's cut and dry, very easy, but there might be certain things that are complex. Maybe you have a lot on your mind. Maybe there's like a lot of energy hitting you from a lot of different places. All of that can be in play with this card. And to be very specific, this is also a card, one of the very few that could link to social media or social media usage for whatever reason. So we're just going to let that chill right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for my beautiful Taurus friends. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled A Surprising Ending. Okay, so I'm hoping if you did have one, it wasn't too rough or difficult, or maybe you're still dealing with the after effects of something like that. But to me, it was like something closes out quickly, like kind of out of the blue. Now, not every ending is a bad ending. That's something I always say. Like sometimes it could be a good thing. It all really depends on your life and your situation. But just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Taurus. What do we have? Mid-January. Deck is being very specific for you so far. Okay, lots of chit-chat. So yeah, just that very chatty type of energy. We got 2 cards that came out together, and they're both big communication cards. So we have the Page of Pentacles, which is one of your power cards. That's a good card for you. Then we have the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth. So like both of these cards are heavy, heavy with the communication, talking, messages. Let's get one more. Let's get one more here for Taurus. Thank you. 6 of Pentacles. So the one thing or a couple things that I'm already liking here is the elemental lineup, because a lot of this energy feels like you could work with it. And it also looks like it's flowing at the very least. So the energy doesn't look stalled or too gunky. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, I always like to go through the elements first because it tells us how the energy flows or areas of life. But I do have to say, like, it still feels very peoply to me for some reason. So take that for whatever it's worth. We'll see if it keeps showing up, because maybe we are going to focus on someone else's energy and how that might affect you today. But as far as elements go, a lot of earth. Now, earth is your comfort zone. Earth is your power element. About the Page of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles on the back end. Now, the thing I like about Pentacles, it's earthy. It represents your sense of stability, your sense of security. It could represent home, family. It could represent finances, work, career. So the world we live in is what the earth energy represents to me when I see it, aside from our sense of security. Now, the downside to too much earth in a reading, sometimes it could be a little clunky. Sometimes it could be a little jammed up. Sometimes it could be a little stuck and it might not be moving to your liking. But since it is the Taurus power element, to me, this feels comfortable. Now, in the center, we do have air. Air is quite different than earth. It's a complete and total opposite because air is not long lasting. Air is always shooting off here, there, and everywhere, right? Air energy is extremely smart. It's intelligent. It could be strategic. It's very pragmatic. So I think of the intelligence and the thought process when I see air, but also communication is big. The only downside to air energy is sometimes it could be a little detached. Sometimes it could be a little cold, a little serious, a little mean. So we're going to have to see how all this plays together because, again, this could all be one situation. It could be several different situations here. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, the Page of Pentacles. Now, as I already mentioned, that's one of your power cards, right? And it could be another earth sign, so Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. And the thing I like about pages is they're like a fresh, youthful, vibrant type of energy. So whether it's a brand new beginning, something new coming into your life, normally pages to me represent students and messengers. So it's like I'm learning something new or I'm putting my energy into something new. So I like it, especially for a Taurus reading. And in my simplistic style, the Page of Pentacles, when we clarify it, it might just show us something that's coming towards you or a way you might be feeling. But of course, this is a huge card of speaking, talking, and messages. This one specifically ties into like the written word. So like letters, text messages, emails. So we want to look at him further. Now, the downside to the page, aside from the student and the learning and new energy, fresh energy, there is a downside, the fact that it could sometimes be a little shy, a little bashful. That's the downside to fresh energy, where it has a lot of potential, but it's not guaranteed. So we do want to look at this deeper and see. And yeah, sometimes the Page of Pentacles can just be very shy and bashful to say something or address something or speak about something. So we'll take a look at it. Now, moving to the middle, we have a very similar vibe, but this one presents completely different. So it's like a little bit of that going on here. In the center, as the page gets put right back where it belongs, is the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth. Now, I love this. Similar to the page, it's a new energy. It's a vibrant, youthful. So whether it's a brand new beginning, a new thought process, like new year, new me, whatever it might be, it's fresh and it has a lot of great energy to it. It is called the Sword of Truth for a reason, because if we're talking about conversations, communications, and messages, this one is straightforward, to the point, blunt, no nonsense. Like this one's not holding back nothing. Whereas like this page can hold things back and bite its tongue. This Ace of Swords is doing nothing of the sort. So we do want to look at this further. It could also be looking for the truth of something. The only downside to the Ace of Swords, it could be quick to cut things away. It could be quick to cut things off. It could be very stern, very serious. So sometimes it does show up in serious situations, and sometimes it could even be a little mean. So we'll look at it, but I'm not necessarily getting that mean energy quite yet. Moving to the back end, so it's like we're surrounded by the softer flowing energy. We have the Six of Pentacles, and we see this individual, they have the scale. So whenever I see scales, I think of karmic energy. We're not going to hone in on that too much. Notice he has all the pentacles and he's sharing them. He's like, here, you take one, you take one, you take one. This is a very giving, very charitable, very fair type of energy. So things and how they balance out could be very important to you. Is this fair? Is this unfair? Is this balanced? Is it not? Those could be very important for Tauruses in this time. So whether it's things in your personal life, things in people's life in your orbit, or their lives in your orbit, like the Six of Pentacles wants balance here. But it's very giving. Now, as far as money goes, it can represent financial assistance. It could represent an intake in money where it's like, all right, you're going to have enough to where you could actually give some away. Like it's a good energy like that. But the downside to this, and I will also say this, it's one of my cards of gift giving. So it's like, here, yeah, here, you take it. I'm giving to it. Now, when it comes to interpersonal relationships, it's how much we bring into a connection where it's like, all right, well, this is what I'm contributing. I'm giving energy to this. I'm giving intention to this. The downside to the Six of Pentacles, sometimes it could give a little too much. Sometimes it could be a little too open. Sometimes it could be something where there's an imbalance, right? Where someone's doing more than another. So we want to look at this further for sure. But when we just look how it goes, it all flows. None of the energy seems stuck or gunked up just yet. So if you've been going through any situations where you're feeling a little stuck, this energy shows it flowing at some point. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Taurus. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What do we got for Taurus, please? I got it. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the page. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Taurus, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Page of Pentacles here? Thank you. Yeah, this energy is really holding back for some reason. Another card of communication. So we have the Eight of Wands in reverse. It's like, should I? Maybe not. So it doesn't just have to be communication based. It could also be like decisions where it's like, I want to do this. Maybe I should reconsider. I've been seeing this in a couple other signs this week where it's like, this is what I'm doing. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do it this way. It's like just very indecisive and flip floppy. And again, I'm not saying that to you. It could be someone that you're connected to where they feel one way one second, another way the next. Like the energy feels like it's a little back and forth. Now, the Eight of Wands is a card of action to me. Usually in the upright, it's fast, it's quick, it's decisive, it's moving forward. It is also a card of messages, talks, communications. So when I see it in reverse underneath the page, it's like, I'm nervous to do this, or I'm nervous to bring this up, or I'm nervous to say this. Like there is that shy, bashful type of energy. So if you are dealing with somebody that you're having communication issues, part of it could deal with them purposely holding back for one reason or another. Or maybe you're being quiet about something and holding it back. I'm not going to say it's quite secretive just yet, because we still have a ways to go. But when I see the Page of Pentacles with Eight of Wands, it's like, yeah, maybe I won't say anything, or maybe I won't do anything. There's like this second guessing that I'm seeing from someone. So we're just going to keep going, because the sword in the center is totally different than what this energy shows me on the front. So I'm not sure if this is a change we're about to see, or let's go. Let's see what the Ace of Swords has. So why is that ace in the mix? Why is that Ace of Swords here for Taurus? Thank you. Okay. Oh. All right. So to me, either this, I don't want to say this is an intimidating individual. For some of you, that might be the case, but we have the Emperor in the upright. Now, there are some readers that link this to Aries and Taurus, which both zodiacal neighbors, right? I mainly link it to Aries, but you could give that card to yourself if you want. When I see the Emperor, I think of the King of Kings, right? That's the shot caller. Oftentimes, he'll represent individuals in a position of authority, in a position of perceived power. Um, and this energy minces no words. So, like, what the only thing I'd say watch out for is someone trying to steamroll you in conversation, because that's what I'm seeing here. This energy here in the center is so solid, so strong, so resolute that it just steamrolls this other energy. So watch out for people trying to talk over you, or like anything in that realm where it's like, all right, there's no point in talking here because you're not letting me get in a word, right? Like that's initially how this feels. So just watch out for any communications like that where it's like, all right, well, it doesn't matter what I say because you're not listening. It doesn't matter how I say it because you're just going to talk over me. So I'm just not going to say shit. Pardon my language. So yeah, this Emperor, very stern, very serious, very set in its ways. So yeah, Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth with this Emperor, this minces no words. Now, for some of you, you might be in this energy where it's like, you know what, I'm not biting my tongue anymore. It really depends on your situation. So like the Ace of Swords and the Emperor, that could absolutely be like a very serious talk or message coming in, or an important one. Like we're really circling around communication as a whole. So whether you're taking the passive approach or the more aggressive approach, that would be up to you and whatever the situation is. But this energy in the center feels like it will not be silenced. So in the positive sense, it is a talk that does feel very firm and serious, like, hey, I'm going to speak my piece and you're going to listen. Or it's just steamrolling. So just watch out for that too. Like don't like don't overpower people, or just let them get a word into. Let's keep going to the Six of Pentacles. So funky, because these energies are completely different, where this one's not saying much, not saying anything at all, and this one's just like controlling the narrative and it's like kind of steamrolling. So let's go in on the 6. Let's go in on the 6. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So, I mean, very intriguing reading this week. Okay. I mean, this is like a give take type of energy. So we have the Five of Wands in the upright underneath this Six of Pentacles. And these energies are completely at odds. So, like when I see the Six of Pentacles, again, flowing, nice, courteous, then this energy in the center is the total opposite, right? We see the people, I always say you don't need to be an expert in tarot to understand that card. It's 5 people are beating the crap out of each other with sticks, right? So this one's happy and nice and fair. And then this one is like pushing and pushing and pushing and steamrolling. So, like, there's this odd energy about approaches because both of them, what I'm seeing in this spread, are kind of on the extreme where this one's not saying or doing enough. This one's doing and saying too much. Like, there's something here where you might need to find the middle path, the middle ground, get into that flow state. Because, yeah, when I see this 5, like, it feels like I'm forcing something. So whatever that might be. So whether you're forcing yourself to go do something you don't want to do, or forcing yourself to speak to someone you really don't want to speak to, like there's just something where I'm doing something that I don't really feel like doing, but I'll be nice. I'll be nice about it. It's like giving me that kind of energy. So like huge thing around the communication. Um, I like the effort. I appreciate the effort of what I see here. But it's not showing me resolution at the moment because the energies themselves, they seem a bit at odds for one reason or another. So highly focused around communication. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the. We'll do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we got the Page of Pentacles with the Eight of Wands in reverse. It's a very indecisive energy, maybe second guessing, very quiet, a little bashful, shy. Maybe I won't say anything about it. So that is what it is, whether that's you holding back or somebody else holding back. Moving to the middle, we have the total opposite, Ace of Swords with the Emperor. Now, this could just be a serious talk where you just get it all out there and speak your piece. Very possible. But I'm also getting little hints and signs of somebody like steamrolling another person, not letting someone get in a full sentence or a word, controlling the complete and total narrative where it's like overpowering this energy. So there should be something about a middle path. Moving to the back, we have the Six of Pentacles with the Five of Wands. 2 extreme ways to approach something. So again, I'm going to say there could be something where Spirit wants you to find the middle ground. But aside from that, this energy is kind of forcing itself to do something it doesn't want to do, or it's forcing itself to partake in something that it really doesn't want to partake in. So do with that information what you will, my friends. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. What do we got for Taurus, please? And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Taurus? Quick. Super, super quick. All right, so we have the King of Wands, which is very similar to this Emperor figure right here. Now, when I speak about kings, I always say they represent control of their respective suit, and Wands is very fiery. It's all about action, it's all about results. So when I see this, it's like, wait, am I wasting my time or am I putting it in good places? So I think it's very important in this time to just make sure you're putting your energy in places where it actually is appreciated, where you're actually going to get results. That's a huge thing with the shadow side of this Emperor. Now, if you are dealing with a certain individual that might be a little unpredictable or a little volatile, or you're not sure how they react or what they're going to do, when I see the King of Wands in reverse, it's like, all right, well, maybe hands off might be the better approach when this card is here, because the Emperor, not the Emperor, the King of Wands can sometimes lash out a little bit. I mean, unless you're just connected to a fire sign. But it's just watch how much energy you feed certain things. I think that's the most important. So Taurus, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the January subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or if you'd like to see what 2026 has in store for you, you can book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The January schedule's already up, so you could go check it out and see what's available. It's going quick, but for the January subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's absolutely adorable and is great for readers of all skill levels. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments from today's reading which card spoke to you the most. Even if the reading didn't quite hit, which card was giving you those warm and fuzzies or really caught your attention. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.